So let's start. I really appreciate that you participants joined our first Rotaract Social Office webinar about the BuyOneMore organization and our project. We hope that you will like it and technique will work out this time. We checked all technical issues like 2 hours before, and hopefully all of you can now see my presentation screen about webinar how to organize BOM. First of all, I want to give you a short overview what we are going to do within next 15 minutes. And maybe just in advance some organizatorial things, like I will be the only one who has mic during the presentation. And if you have any questions to the points on the slides, please put them into the chat. And Chris will be so nice to put all this together, so we have an overview over all questions, and we will answer them all together when the presentation is finished. Yeah, in the very end, you will also be it will also be possible for you to speak, to unmute your phone, and have some discussion about things or issues you might have in your country with this. And just for your information, we will also record this session so we can make it available for people who didn't have time to join the webinar today. We will also put it on a website, and you can share it with your friends and road directors in your country. Yeah, our agenda is a quite short one, but it's even more interesting for us to see if you have any concerns or issues to organize BOM in your country. So I will start with the presentation, how to organize it. It will be like 15 minutes. And afterwards, Kate, my lovely assistant, will show you how to put the information about the collected things into our BOM form in the internet, because as we already said several times during RAMs and Facebook, we want to see how much effort we did in whole Europe and how many boxes we collected during the BuyOneMore projects within the Rotaract week in March this year. Yeah, and then we will have enough time for question and answer session. And I just suggest to start. Oh, I see, but I should minimize my window. I will. So hopefully you can now see perfectly what I have in my display. Yeah, let's start. I decided to have a very short introduction about what is BOM or why do we do this in the social office. So some people might ask you, what is it? And I think you can even describe it within one sentence, like Rotaractors ask people in supermarkets to buy one more product for a good cause. I think when whoever asks you, this will be a very short and specific answer to this question. And why did we decide to do this as a European social project offered by E.R.I.C Social Office? Because we think it's highly effective, and every club all over Europe can implement it, and it's very easy for them to organize, and you have an impact during the same day. Very good to involve new guests and members. And this is also the first advantage of BOM, because it really doesn't take much time to organize it within the club or even with the external organizations, and the success is there directly on the same day. And of course, you have some public awareness of Rotaract, and it's very cool to for acquisition of new members when young people cross the supermarket and they ask like, "Hey, cool, what are you doing here?" Or you just tell them. My club, for example, we had several new members while telling them about Rotaract when we had a BuyOneMore project. Yeah. I'm pretty sure all of you saw these flyers we gave out during the last meetings. There are the most important information set, like the date. We ask you to do this during the 13th and 19th of March this year. And in the back side of this flyer, you also find a very short overview of what is to do, like find an organization to support, make an agreement with the supermarket, set the date, and ask people to buy one more. These 4 essential points are like a guideline for you to remember how to do this project, and it is also a reminder every time you tell people about this project, and maybe you want to recommend it to other clubs in your country. These 4 points are very essential, and of course to these 4 points there are also many details, and now we go into these details. So first point, find an organization to support. The different organizations are, or let's say the organizations in every country are very different. Of course, their names are all different, but they have one thing in common: to help people, to give shelter to people who don't get enough food or who suffer from hunger. And to give you just a short overview of some organizations we got to know during the last years of organizing or talking to different countries who already organize BOM, some kind of railways missions. They are always located next to to your railway stations, and they also support or provide food for people who are in need. There are homeless people aids, where your food or things from the supermarket could go to, refugee homes, or some different local charity organizations maybe you know even better than me. And when I had a short research on internet, I found some from different countries. Maybe you already heard about it. So in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, it's like Die Tafel, Les Restos du Cœur. Sorry for my French. Yeah, but this is the organization in France. Then Fundació Banc del Aliment is in España, for example. The Helpica Foundation does it in Hungary, and the Metro supermarket chain has a project called Care and Share. They are actually doing the similar thing like we do, and this is already located in many other countries all over Europe. So that this should just help you to find an organization in your region. And of course, you can do some projects with it by yourself. Like I know about the Rotary Club who had a project called Breakfast in a Bag. So they just did a BuyOneMore project to get food for a bag, and then they put several stuff for, like, let's say 2 days food into one bag, and they gave it out to homeless people. Some clubs, for example in Frankfurt, Germany, they organize a breakfast for homeless people. And why not getting the products by yourself by organizing a BOM? But you're totally free in this. This should just give you some advices to make it easier to do this project. Make an agreement with the supermarket. After you found an organization to support, you should look for some supermarkets in your city. I think it's not that hard. Every one of you goes shopping, so go to some of them. Some people are more open when you talk to them, like the boss of the supermarket. Some are less. You have to find out someone who is very cooperative to you. And of course, it should be a supermarket where a clientele goes to who can afford to donate. So maybe not the very, very low cost supermarket, but maybe with some valuable goods. Of course, you should present the project within a few sentences, and you need the permission that you are allowed to talk to their customers. Surprises are not good in this case. We already had experience with this. So the supermarket team should always know what you are doing. And it's always necessary to have like a not country booth, but a BuyOneMore booth from Rotaract in the supermarket. So where you can put your stuff, and also where you can put some information material about Rotaract and about the project. In my experience, it was always good to have a table in the supermarket with pre-sorted items. So if you want the customers to buy some flour, for example, or some bread, they have to go through the whole supermarket, and they always ask like, what is best for you? It is always a good thing if you have a pre-sorted items on a desk and say, hey, if you want to support and you do not have time or you don't want to go through the food stuff, you can just take some of the products here off the table. It was always a good advice to do this. And when you got the product from the people who bought it, they will go outside the exit and give it to you. You should put them into your banana boxes. But we will say something about this in a few seconds. Set the date. As it is our European social project, we really ask you to do it within the World Rotaract Week in the middle of March. And it's always good to do it on Saturday if you have many people working in your club. So if you're all students and you are free during the week, feel free to do it whenever you want in this week. But Saturday is always good for people who have to work. And the experience showed that it's good to have 2 shifts at least. So it's not that much work for the Rotaractors then. And it's just more relaxed. You do not need to, but we have good experiences with that. It's always good to have a news article at least a few days or 1 week before, because old people, most of the old people read newspapers. Still, they will read that you have this project, and in my experience, I was like, I think nobody will recognize, but there were very much people coming and say, oh, I read this in the news article and I want to participate, or, oh, you don't need to explain me that much because I already read it. So it's a good advice, and of course, do the same with Facebook and social media. It's good to have a poster or a roll-up, stand-up display to put it in the supermarket so people can already read it when they go shopping, and they know it the next time. And of course, you should arrange an appointment with your organization you want to support, because sometimes they come with a car and take everything you got, or maybe you have to deliver it. This should also be arranged. And one good advice coming from our experience, call everyone who's involved in this project again, like a few days before, because especially supermarkets or even the organizations you want to support forget or are not that organized. So remind them and you will be happy. Coming to the next point, ask people to buy one more item. So now we are in the supermarket, everything's prepared. And a good advice is to have some flyers with you where the project is very short described, like in 2 sentences. And there's also a recommendation which products to buy. Most of the time, people listen to you, say, okay. Then they go inside and they forgot what you just told, or they don't know what to buy. And it's like stress for them, even if it should not be like this. So it's always good to have like a short recommendation on the flyer, like, please buy flour, bread, noodles, rice, or whatever. It's just up to you. You can also ask your organization to support what they need most. When they enter the market, go to them. Don't forget to smile for sure, and explain them in very shortly what you want from them. And we have really, really good experiences with that. And most people are very friendly then. Yeah, you have your booth where you have your information material and where you collect this all these items. You will have some banana boxes or plastic boxes with same sizes for transportation. And this point, I have to say, don't forget to count, because we want to measure your impact by counting these boxes. And we recommend you to have at least 4 to 5 people there. So maybe 2 people who are responsible for packing all the stuff in the boxes, and 2 people who ask passengers passing by or customers to buy one more. Yeah, about the pre-sorted items I already told you. And in the end, you should organize how the goods you received should go to the organization you decided. Here is just an example how we did it several years ago. We had a small transporter with all the goods inside, and you can also see that we pre-sorted the products a bit, like we had some conserves or things which are more durable into one box, and we have bread in another one. Yeah, just to give you an optical impression. And here is one booth we had like 2 or 3 years ago in a supermarket, and I gave you one suggestion how to go to people and ask them for products. It's actually what I say all the time. For sure, you are free to have your own speech. I always say like, "Hello, sir. I'm a member of Rotaract Club and I support homeless people by collecting some food. Would you be so nice and buy just one more item and give it to me at the exit? Thank you very much in advance." That's actually it, what your members have to do during this time, and how the booth looks and how you organize this. You can just decide by yourself. And yeah, this is just another example. Yeah, so that was about the how to organize BOM. And next slide will be about how to share the results with us. And for this, I will give over the word to Ekaterina. I just need to rearrange something for a second. So stop sharing for a second. Kate, can you unmute your phone?
Yeah, I already done this.
Okay,
Thank
perfect.
You for the presentation, and glad to hand over.
Yeah, just let me go back to presentation. Just give me a short signal when I have to go to the next slide. Okay, I'm ready.
Go for the next slide.
Kate?
Yeah.
There is the next slide.
Yeah, there is probably, I don't see it somehow. I see webinar how to organize, not the slide.
Does anyone else see the slide how to send results to E.R.I.C?
Yeah, I see it now as well. Yeah. As I said before, thank you, Alex, for the really helpful information regarding how to organize. And now I will tell you in a few minutes how we are going to receive the results from all the clubs all over the Europe. So on the website rotaracteurope.eu, you can see the section specially organized for all the information regarding BuyOneMore action, and we put the special form for special evaluation form, which consists 7 mandatory questions, so you can really fill out the information within a few minutes and give us all the necessary info to know that you participated, that you paid attention, that you helped people, helped society with the action BuyOneMore in your country, in your city. So on the website there is, on the slide there is, you can see the 7 questions that is presented in the application form, which is taken from the website. I think that points like club name, district, country, quite easy for everybody to understand. When did your BuyOneMore action took place? As well, as Alex said before, we expect you to organize it during the World Rotaract Week, which takes place from 13th to 19th of March this year. Benefiting organization, as well as Alex explained, shelters, any benefiting organizations in your city, in your town, web address of the benefiting organization, just to let us know that probably they published about their action and get know more how it was organized, and also took your experience as an example, maybe. And coming up to the next point, number of collected banana boxes. We always keep saying that we are going to measure the result you present to us in banana boxes. But what do we mean under this term? On the slides you can see that we put the measures of the banana boxes we always talk about, and it's just actually the standard boxes that's used for banana transportation, and the picture is on the slide and the measures, as I said before. So if you have troubles, not confident if your box is okay, you can just measure, and we glad to receive your results, just to have a standard measures between all the people around Europe. So if you still have any questions regarding this, we always open to answer them. And of course, these measures also put on the website, on the rotaracteurope.eu, in a section BuyOneMore, so you never forget that we expect you to send us information about collected banana boxes, about collected food in banana boxes measures. We can go to the next slide. Yeah. When you're coming up to fill out the form, on the second page you can see that we also really expect you to send us the picture of the project you took, because we wanna show how Europe gathered to do BuyOneMore action all together, to see that we really united organization and we can when we want. And you can do it right in the form, or you can send us a picture to the common social officer mail. You can see it on the slide as well, social@rotaracteurope.eu. Or also, we also gonna be glad if you send us a link to Dropbox, iCloud, or any storage resource you use, just to share, just to show us, just to make us proud of you. Because as Alex said, it's really easy, hands-on project, but with a valuable impact. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Kate, for telling us how to put all the information on website so we from the social office can collect them. Yeah, you can see on the last picture, I think it's like a lucky shot. You can see one of my club members talking to people and some banana boxes in front. So this is how we do it. And thank you very much for listening to the things we just told you. And for me now, it's very important to see if there are any more questions or if you have any concerns regarding this. So, yeah, I just see 2 questions were already put on the chat. So, question from Justin, is there a competition? Maybe the club who donates the most. We thought about making a competition out of it, and you can be sure that we will announce maybe the club who had the highest number, maybe the country, maybe the district. We are still discussing it, and we didn't decide so far. But as we get all data from you, it's easy for us to see what we can do with this. Maybe there will also be like a small prize, but we want to have it like a surprise. So you can be sure we do something with it, but it's not decided yet. So coming to the second question, is it necessary to organize it during the World Road Direct Week? I say yes, it's important to do it during this week as we want to have the results from a specific period of time. So if your clubs are organizing their program for the next half a year, just try to give them the information, hey, please do it during this time, because it's like a very cool campaign on Facebook when all clubs all over Europe post things about their project within this week. So we have a very good marketing impact by this when we do it during the same week. So, but if you have the situation like, okay, you can't do it in this week, but maybe 1 week after, or you did it 1 week before because your most club members are on holiday then, please just send us the result as well. Put the date when you did it on the website, and we will see what we do with this. I don't want to promise now, like, okay, 1 week is okay, 2 is okay, but 3 is not. We have to get some more feedback from clubs all over Europe to decide on this. But the fixed dates for having latest is in the end of March, or let's say beginning of April, because we have to prepare all this information for UCO. And so for example, when UCO is over, the results of course cannot be measured. So conclusion is, don't worry if there is 1-2 weeks or something. Encourage people to do the project, put the real date on the website, just submit it, and social office will do the best out of it. We will decide on how we manage it when we receive the first results. So the concrete question from Simona about the organized BOM in December. Very cool that you organized BOM. We really appreciate it. And I think from December until March, it's quite a long time to go. So why not doing a second BuyOneMore project in March? Just my advice. Look, if you have a possibility for this, and if not, send us the results as well. And maybe the result might be something like, okay, we can count it, but you cannot be part of the competition or something like this. As I said, we really have to see how our results, how they look like when we receive them. But it's better to send it than just leaving it. I hope this answer is okay for you. So there's another question. We support a refugee shelter who mostly asked for us underwear and socks. Does anyone have experiences with collecting such things and advice to give? I think this is a very good point to go into public discussion, so to unmute people so we can discuss it together. Chris, maybe you can do this, and I just start with my answer, and then you can join. So from my experience, we didn't do it with socks and underwear, but for example with school products for children, and it also works. So we went to a supermarket which has a big area for school articles like pens, books, and everything, and we also ask people to buy something like this. You just change the text, like, hey, we want to collect some things for children to provide them something to go to school, and that's it. So you can always adjust it. And I would also count this, of course, because when we say buy one more, food is just a suggestion. So go for it. Feel free to comment and add.
Okay, as far as nobody still confident to keep the dialogue, I want to say that our club organized it, and we organized it not with the products, not with the food. We organized it with the socks and underwear, as stated, and we did it not for the refugee shelter but for homeless people, and it's really worked out really good. And Alex really said the good point that you just need to clarify what people need. So if you support a refugee shelter or homeless people shelter, and you're in communication with the organization, and they can give you a list of things they need, and you can, to make it easier for people who want to help, just confused how and what should they choose out of the great range of the products in the supermarket. You can maybe even prepare, or as Alex said before, put them on the table or show the direction. You can go there and choose. So it really works fine with any projects, and maybe even making it easier when you state that please buy socks or buy underwear. Yeah.
Thank you. Any more questions regarding BOM or submitting or whatever? You're welcome. So if there are no further questions, maybe just a very short feedback about how it worked with Adobe Connect. Was it okay for you? Can you hear us loud and clearly and see the screen? Can we do it for the next webinars as well? Well, thank you very much for your feedback. Looks great. So especially thanks to Chris Milat for dealing with the technical stuff to make it happen, and Kate for supporting me with the presentation. And yeah, I'd say thanks again, and hope to receive as many BOM results from you as possible.